Oh, Mama, that is the best kitchen I ever smelled.
Glenn's party may give him testimony dinner tomorrow. But tonight, Mama fixes tasty vitkålsoppa, calf steak, och äppelkaka med vaniljasås.
A real feast.
Yeah.
You know, Mama, it's nice to have son-in-law who get testimony dinner.
Oh, yeah, and just marvelous that the boys could come here with him to see their father honored.
Yeah, marvelous. Yeah.
Sure is a neat farm, Mr. Holstrum.
Well, thank you, Stephen.
It's so nice to be back on it again.
Oh, we are so happy to have you all here, Cherylilla. And Glenn, so proud of you.
Dad's famous.
Yeah, the man on the farm next door asked for his autograph.
Yeah.
I get asked for autograph, too.
Oh, Papa, who?
Uncle Sam on Internal Revenue. Well, Katie, Glenn, boys, I don't think that I told you, but I have an announcement to make.
Announcement?
Sounds interesting. What is it about?
Oh, not now. It's very important announcement. And important announcements have to be made at proper time.
Well, when is the proper time for this important announcement?
After supper. We all be filled with Mama's good food, and Papa will pour little schnapps and make announcement. Now, we go to clean up. Mama, you promise me no hints. Not even little ones.
Any clues as to what the forthcoming announcement might be, Watson?
Not a one, sir, I'm afraid.
I suppose there's nothing for it but to call the yard, but...
What's the matter with them?
Oh, ever since they got married, they've been acting goofy like that.
Here because I have important announcement to make. Now, whoever guesses Papa's announcement first wins prize.
Papa.
I'm going to give you a hint. It has something to do with me.
That I never would have stumbled on.
Come, Papa, make the announcement.
Oh, yeah, Mama. I, Lars Sven Holstrum, born in Sweden, came to these fair shores with Mama only. Now I have fine farm, fine family, and fine American citizenship, naturalized. I, Lars Sven Holstrum, have entered primaries for election to House of Representative of great state of Minnesota, and I thank you. Maybe you did not hear what I said.
Oh, yes, we heard you, sir.
Oh, yeah, it's a very interesting announcement.
Well, now that the boys can manage the farm, I am free to serve my state. And I will make the voices of the farmer heard in the capital. So you see, Glenn, I will do important work, too. Makes you proud of your old Papa, eh, Katarina?
Oh, yeah, very proud, Papa.
And who knows? As soon as I get the hang of making laws, who is to say that I might not go to Washington, D.C., capital of whole United States?
Maybe you should be satisfied with Minnesota.
Mama, if my country calls, I will answer. Glenn, you would not mind having two Washington, D.C. lawmakers in same family now, would you?
No, of course not, Mr. Holstrum. But I was wondering if you had thought this through clearly.
Such foolish talk. Politics is only people, and I can't handle people. Did I not already get signatures on petition to put name on ballot?
Yes, sir, but...
And do I not have support of prominent congressman who got his own bill passed House of Representatives and is being given testimony dinner?
Yes, of course, you certainly have.
What have I got to worry about? Oh, that is Al Bergman. I asked him to come by. He is my campaign manager.
Campaign manager?
Yeah. Papa has been working very hard. You think he has a chance?
Well, frankly, politics is a pretty difficult business. It's hard to say, really.
Some schnapps, Mama. Now, Yulia, you sit down there, and Al, you find yourself a place. Now then, this is Al Bergman, campaign manager for Lars Holstrum. And this is Yulia Hansen, my speechwriter.
Speechwriter?
I'm an English major.
And this is my Katerina, my son-in-law, the congressman, and their two boys, Stephen and Danny. Here you are.
To our candidate.
To our candidate.
Oh, yeah.
Well, tell me, how are things going at Holstrum headquarters?
Well, I'd say they're going pretty good, sir. Today we gave away a button.
To a little girl.
Oh, who was she?
I can't seem to think of that right now.
Can I have one of your buttons?
Certainly, Danny. Stephen?
Oh, sure. I'd like one, too.
Buttons for Stephen and Ranny.
Danny.
Have you managed a lot of these campaigns before, Al?
Oh, no, sir, this is my first.
But he's learning awfully fast. Is it all right for Al to reveal his strategy about the cows' heads?
Oh, yeah. And just wait until you hear.
Before this campaign is over, Lars Holstrum will have patted the head of every cow in this district.
Isn't that brilliant?
But cows don't vote.
Oh, neither do all the babies at the politicians' kiss. But their proud mothers do.
It's just the same with proud cow owners.
Al figured out the whole thing.
Well, it does have a certain logic to it.
Sir, could we be excused to caucus? I have a few things I'd like to go over with you.
Oh, I am sure the others will excuse us. They realize it's important business managing campaign for representative.
Oh, Papa, we excuse you.
We go ahead.
Do you think it's foolishness for Papa to do this?
Well, politics is rough. It's pretty hard to get elected just on good intentions.
It usually takes half of Madison Avenue.
It's true, Glenn?
Yeah, it's true, Mama.
Poor Papa. I'm afraid vanity's leading him astray again.
Vanity has a way of doing that.
I just hope he doesn't get his feelings hurt. But I just know he's heading for a great big kick right in his head.
I'm afraid you're right. With politics as sophisticated as they are these days, I doubt if Lincoln could get himself elected without a party organization behind him.
Well, it's your fault, you know.
That Lincoln couldn't get himself elected?
That Papa is trying to. If he didn't have such an important politician for a son-in-law, he might not feel so unimportant being a farmer.
With all due modesty, you do have a point. Shall I chuck the whole thing?
And ruin my chances to redecorate the White House?
Excuse me, I lost my head for a moment.
I'm sorry. I know he's putting you in an awkward position by asking for your support.
Asking? I'd say assuming.
Well, what are you going to do?
Support him. What else can I do?
Well, knowing Papa, I hope it doesn't backfire.
Knowing Papa, I second your motion.
If you're doing this just for me...
I am, but after all, what harm can a little plug at the dinner do?
Well, what can you possibly say? Papa's not qualified in any way.
Oh, I don't know. I can think of one political achievement of his.
What?
He has managed to produce the best and prettiest congressman's wife in history.
Glenn, you know, there are times when I think you're really very wise. This is definitely one of them.
Mama, I smell just like mothballs.
When you are out in the air, it will go away.
But it's so strong.
What I have to worry about is the surprise you have planned for the testimony dinner. I wish you would tell Glenn.
Foolish woman, then would not be a surprise.
Well, maybe at his dinner he would not want a surprise.
Who would not want a nice surprise? Mama, you really think this mothball smell will go away?
Have I told you lately, Congressman, that I'm very proud of you?
No, not lately, constituent.
Well, I am. Very.
After that, they can just forget about all those speeches they're going to make tonight.
Oh, I could get up at that dinner and give a lot of testimonials. But I'm afraid they would not be too political.
And the gratitude of all of us here in the 76th District, that I present this loving cup to Congressman Glenn Morley.
Did you ever see such a trophy so big and shiny?
Looks like normal trophy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hands are tired.
Clap.
Thank you very much. I want you to know that this is the finest testimonial dinner I have ever attended. And the reason for that is it's the only one that has ever been given to me. I am particularly glad to share this evening with my two sons, Danny and Steve. And of course, my wife, whom I'm sure you all can see, is an extraordinary woman.
He will never get to part about me. He'll spoil the whole surprise.
Speaking of my wife, leads me quite naturally into mentioning her father.
You see, you find fault before...
Mama, shh.
Perhaps some of you know him, Mr. Lars Holstrum.
Not yet, Papa.
Julie, it won't be long now.
The moment of truth. Oh, Al, I'm so glad we're in politics. Aren't you?
I'm probably going to make it my life's work.
You're so dedicated.
Yeah. Get ready to go. On signal.
Now, Lars Holstrum is honest, a solid citizen, and a member of the community. When he gives you his word, it's not a very high-sounding word, but it is one you can rely on.
No, Papa.
Not even a little one?
He is good and altogether a trustworthy human being. And it is for these reasons that I have elected to support him in his bid for nomination in these primaries. Mr. Lars Holstrum, will you please stand up and let the people have a look at you?
Surprise?
Yeah. Nice little parade for Papa. Oh, Carol, Hilda, all Holstrum cuties, thank you.
Did we do okay, Mr. Holstrom?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. Come on, I think we're supposed to go now.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to apologize for mothball smell. Mommy is very careful housekeeper. Second of all, I would like to welcome you to testimony dinner for son-in-law of Lars Holstrum, which reminds me of a story about city slicker who wants to become farmer. So he buys himself a farm and a cow. And there's only one thing wrong, the cow doesn't give milk. So he goes to Gustafson, who is a farmer too, and he says, would you mind coming taking a look at my cow? Maybe it is sick. So Gustafson goes over and he looks and he laughs. And he says, only problem is, it's not cow. So City Slicker says, what is it? Gustafson says, take my advice, just don't wave any red flags around him.
Probably went over their heads.
It is enough for yoke time. Now we get down to serious business about campaign promises. I promise everything that my opponent promises. But your next representative, Lars Sven Holstrum, has got one more promise that nobody thought about. What do you think it is, ladies and gentlemen? What is it?
Here it comes.
This is the one that makes us a winner.
It is simply this. I promise Medicare for livestock.
Medicare for livestock.
When that gets out, Papa will be the laughingstock of the town.
And believe me, it will get out. You can depend on his opponents for that. Ridicule is one of the most effective political weapons, you know.
I know. They said that Thomas Dewey lost the election the moment someone said he looks like the man on the wedding cake.
Well, I don't think your father had a chance anyway, but now he'll be able to count his votes on two hands.
Well, there must be something we could do to save him from all that embarrassment.
First off, I think we'd better caucus with his staff.
Mr. Morley, are you suggesting that we ask our candidate to withdraw from this race?
It's certainly beginning to sound that way to me.
I am merely suggesting that you consider the sacrifice you're asking him to make.
Farming is his life's work. He loves it.
Beyond that, farming is one of the most important things that a man can do.
Nothing can be accomplished without food.
The progress of the nation begins right here on the farm.
I never thought of it that way.
What about Medicare for livestock?
I'm afraid, Julia, that Medicare for livestock is just a little bit ahead of its time.
Julie, Al, what are you doing here?
Mr. Holstrum, may we caucus, sir?
Well, of course, but what about?
A very serious matter, sir.
I hope they can convince him.
Well, our arguments were all true, and truth is a strong weapon.
No.
Even you'd be the first to admit that Medicare for livestock is a little ahead of its time. I mean...
Well, in case you are wondering, I have called you all together here because I have an announcement to make. An important announcement. Mama, Snots. Katie. Glenn. Now, after much thinking, I have reached a conclusion. Would you like to hear?
Yeah, Papa, of course.
Good. Then I will make announcement. After much thought, I have reached conclusion.
Yeah, Papa.
I have reached conclusion not to run for politics.
Oh, school, Papa. School.
School.
It's best this way, Julie.
If you say so, Al.
If I may say so, politics' loss is farming's gain.
Good decision, Papa. I'm very happy.
Well, you know, it's not generals and politicians and statesmen should have statues in town square. It's farmers.
No doubt about it. There's definitely a touch of Churchill in that man.
A large touch, Al. A large touch.
I hope we did the right thing.
About your father?
Mm-hmm. Perhaps we should let him face that. He should be old enough.
Katie, if he hasn't learned to face facts by now, it's a little late for us to suggest it. I vote for his illusions.
Yeah. And long let them live. I have an announcement to make.
Oh, an important one?
Extremely. I'm very glad I ran for Mrs. Glenn Morley.
I have an announcement to make, too.
Important?
Extremely. I'm very glad I voted for you. Those testimonial dinners really take it up. What are all those papers doing there?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you said you'd have them stopped.
Correction. You said you'd tend to it, as I recall.
As I recall, you said you were going to stop by the post office and have them keep the mail.
Well, that's not quite the way I remember it.
Well, you did remember to call the patrol and have them watch the house.
I believe Mother did that before she went off on her trip.
Well, nothing looks as if it's been burgled, so I guess it doesn't matter whether she did or she didn't.
Now, look, Katie,
There's about 1 million quarts of milk out there and a whole mess of cats.
I
swear
thought
you said
that you were
taken
going
care
to
of
call
the whole
these...
thing.
Excuse me, but I have an announcement to make. If we hadn't all been so excited about the dinner for Dad, nobody would have forgotten anything. And if we weren't all so tired and hungry now, it wouldn't matter. I thank you.
He's right.
Obviously, there's more than one politician in this house.
Well, there's always room for one more.
I warn you, though, as a politician, I am definitely opposed to Medicare for livestock.
Tonight at 8 Eastern, Merlin Olsen stars as the gentle giant Father Murphy. Then at 9, the continuing exploration, The Future Is Ours on the 700 Club. Now, stay with us for the Patty Duke Show, next on CBN.